Hello, this video is going to give you a basic idea of Hinduism, so call it Hinduism 101. Point number one, around 5000 years ago, in Western India and current Eastern Pakistan, there was a place called Indus Valley Civilization, and archaeologists have found that these people, the Indus Valley people, used to worship a god which is very closely resembling the modern iconography of Shiv. So there is a strong evidence to suggest that these Indus Valley people 5000 years ago in India and modern day Pakistan, they used to worship Shiv. Point number two, then came the age of the Vedas. In the Vedic age, the priestly class of Hinduism, the scholarly people, the people who know Sanskrit and Tamil, the classical languages of India, they got down and they started writing and recording the poetry, the hymns, the Upanishads, the Vedas, the sacred text of Hinduism. So we can say that after this Indus Valley period came the period of the Vedas, and in the Vedic period, the codification of Hindu canonical text. Remember, there is no one holy book in Hinduism. There is no one holy book. It's a vast religion like a banyan tree. You are free to pick and choose whatever suits your fancy. So, but some sort of codification, some sort of disciplining of this discourse of Hinduism started happening in the Vedic period. Point number three, fire. Now, in Hinduism, fire is very sacred. Fire has a reverential value, it has divine grace, it has sacred nature. It is used in wedding processions. For example, in Hindu weddings, the bride and the bridegroom take seven ambulations or seven circles around the divine fire. Hindu women wear a bindi. Bindi is supposed to also symbolize the third eye or the eye of enlightenment, and it also symbolizes their matrimony. Point number four. In Hinduism, it might appear that Hinduism is a polytheistic religion. That means the Hindu society worship many gods, but in fact, the many gods are only manifestation of the one supreme god called the Brahman. And Brahman cannot be conceptualized. Brahman is so complicated, so overwhelming that it has to be simplified into manifestations, and therefore you have the different manifestations like Shiva is the god of nature. Uh, Ganesh is the god of prosperity. Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge. Lakshmi is the goddess of money. Vaishnavi or Mata Rani, as we say in North India, she is the goddess of nurturing, of motherliness, of fertility, of protection, of power. Yes. So the supreme God, the Brahman, cannot be imagined. He is so complex, he is so all encompassing. For most common people, we need someone tangible, a manifestation of form that we can look at and feel connected to. Therefore, when you go to most Hindu temples, you would see a form or a murti, an idol. And these idols, as I said, represent different, you can even say the needs of everyday life, different need. Yes. So Vishwakarma, for example, is a god of the skill people, of the builder and the masons. Within Hinduism, there are three basic divisions. First is Shaivites. The Shaivite sect worship Shiv as their preferred god or their Ishtadev, the god who is closest to them or who protects them. All right. So there is Shaivites, the people who worship Shiv. There are Vaishnavites, the people who worship Vishnu, another major god. Um, or any form of Vishnu like Krishna or Ram or Parshuram, and so on and so forth. And the third one is especially very prevalent in North India near the Vaishno Devi Mandir is the Shaktas. Okay, so the Shaktas are a sect which worship the supreme god in the feminine form, or the Jagadamba, or Lakshmi or Durga or Kali or Vaishnavi. If you've heard of these names, and if the people feel very close to these feminine figures, then they are the Shaktas. Right. So I've already told you that in Hinduism, the Brahman, the supreme god, cannot be conceptualized. So we reduce him or we simplify him into the different manifestations so that common people can connect to God through, in an easier way. So, for example, for everyday needs like fertility, for crops and agriculture, for prosperity, for nature, for rain, for wind, for all of these elemental needs, we have different gods. So, point number five is the Trimurti. Within Hinduism, like there is one Brahman and then below that there is a trinity. So just like the holy trinity in Christianity, we have a trinity in Hinduism also, called Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma is the progenitor or the source of all creation. Vishnu is the maintenance god, so he keeps the universe, the people in progress, keep them moving forward. And if there is a problem on earth, if for example the adharma or the evil power gets a lot of power, then Vishnu descends to earth in a manifestation. Some people have said that even Gautam Buddha and Jesus Christ were the manifestations of Vishnu. But safe to say, conservatively speaking, safe to say that Krishna, a very popular God Krishna, Lord Krishna of Mathura, Vrindavan, and God Ram of Ayodhya were are the two most common, most popular manifestations of Lord, Vishnu. And then the third part of the three murti or the Trinity is Shiv. Shiv is the god of destruction, but also rejuvenation. All right. So in Hinduism, point number five is in Hinduism, uh, infinity is depicted as blue. So, for example, Lord Krishna is depicted as blue, and same is the case with Shiv. Shiv is also depicted as blue in color, and blue is infinite. Six is puja. When Hindus worship, we call it puja, and puja involves gratitude. It is different from divan. When we are doing puja, we are not asking for anything, we are paying gratitude. So it's almost like the Sunday sermon in Christianity when you are worshipping the God. So puja means gratitude, remembrance of the Almighty, or whichever God that you feel closest to, whether it's the Mata Rani or Shiv or any manifestation of Vishnu or any other God for that matter. Um, while on the other hand, there is something called vrata, vrat. A lot of Hindu women, but also men these days, keep a vrat. And what vrat is when you ask something from God, when you make a vow, make a promise. So a woman might take a vow that God, if I conceive a child, then I'm going to visit the Kedarnath Mandir. So that is a vow or a vrat. Vrat is also manifested and most popularly in keeping a fast. So another very famous manifestation of Hindu gods of Brahman, you can say, is Ganesha, the elephant-headed Ganesha. He is very popular in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, where they call him endearingly Ganpati Bappa, and he is the god of good luck and protection. Lord Krishna is very popular, immensely popular in North India, especially in Delhi, Mathura, Vrindavan, these parts of Uttar Pradesh, and he is called Nandlala or Madhav, Madhusudan, and Mohan, Gopal, all of these things. We have Janmashtami, Lord Krishna. We have Ganesh Chaturthi for Lord Ganesh. Temples in Hindu pantheon, the temples are the places where the community gets together. Unlike Christianity, where you generally find Jesus Christ or the cross on the altar, in Hindu temples, it depends on what god the temple is dedicated to. So, for example, in Jagannath Puri, the temple is dedicated to Lord Jagannath. In Vaishno Devi Mandir, the shrine in the foothills of Himalayas, a very popular spot for the Shakta devotees. That temple is dedicated to Shakti or Vaishnavi. Siddhivinayak Mandir in Mumbai is devoted to Lord Ganesha. A lot of temples in Mathura and Vrindavan are dedicated to Lord Krishna. And Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir in Ayodhya is dedicated to Lord Ram. We will come to Lord Ram when we discuss Ramayan, okay, the great epic of Hinduism. Then you have pilgrimage. So a lot of Hindu families, people, individuals take a pilgrimage. The most famous pilgrimage is to the waters of the Kumbh, the waters of Ganga River in the Kumbh, festival, which happens every 12 or 13 years. All right. So that is a pilgrimage, but there are also other pilgrimages like Jagannath Puri pilgrimage or Meenakshi Mandir pilgrimage in Tamil Nadu to Mathura and Vrindavan in during the Janmashtami days, and similarly during Ganesh Chaturthi, streets of Mumbai are jam-packed with throngs and congregations of people who lovingly chant Ganpati Bappa Moria. because it emanates from the elemental forces. The rivers are also gods and goddesses. So Yamuna is a river, but also a goddess. Ganga is the most sacred river. I think most would agree Ganga is the most sacred river in Hinduism. She is also a goddess. Similarly, Kaveri, Saraswati, Brahmaputra, all of them are gods and goddesses. Another important concept to understand Hinduism is ahimsa or non-violence. This is why a lot of Hindus, I would say 70% Hindus, are strict vegetarians. But we revere cows, we value cows. In fact, not just cow, but other bovine animals also. Like cows give us milk. Cows are non-violent, they are gentle, they are meek, and Lord Krishna, especially when he is very young, is associated with cow. Similarly, Lord Shiv is also associated with cow or Nandi Bail, right? So that is why a lot of Hindus, I'm speaking very loosely here, right? I'm just trying to give you a basic idea, Hinduism 101. So this is the reason why a lot of Hindus are vegetarian in nature. Another important concept at point 14 is the karma. So, what is karma? Karma is your deeds. So, in Hinduism, we are divided, the entire Hindu population, according to Orthodox Hinduism, is divided into four castes or four varnas called Brahmins, the priestly class or the scholarly people, then Kshatriyas, the warriors, the protectors. Then third is Vaishyas, the providers, the traders, the business people. And fourth is Shudras, the maintenance people. All right. So it's a hierarchy. What is karma is that karma is just your generational debt, or it's like a bank balance of your morality. So for example, if I do a lot of good things, if I worship the gods, if I serve the poor, if I read the Upanishads and the Vedas, if I am rightful and righteous in my conduct, just like Lord Ram or Yudhishthir, then there is a chance that I would be born in a higher caste. So, if, for example, in this life, if I'm born as a Shudra or the lowermost caste, quote unquote lowermost, these are problematical and controversial terms in modern India, then so if I'm doing the right conduct, then in the next birth, I would be born in an relatively upper caste. So Shudra goes to Vaishyas,